In a world where the signs of the future are found in ancient biblical texts, where prophecy and reality connect, one podcast dares to explore the mysteries of the Book of Revelation in the context of today's world events. Join us on Beyond the End as we uncover the secrets, the symbols, and the signs that may be unfolding right before our eyes. Are you ready? Subscribe now and step into the unknown.
We are starting now our podcast, and the question is simple. We're in the dark. What is it going to be when people will find themselves in the dark? Here we have a little bit of light, but what if there is no light at all? And war breaks loose. You hear those huge pounding of bombs blasting everywhere. The building or the house where you're staying in shakes. And the walls start rumbling. You hear people screaming. What you are going to think about? Only one thing will kick in. Survival mode. You want to run. You want to scream for help. And most people, when they find themselves in such a situation, they are going to scream and shout the name of God, saying, "My God, please help." But that is not going to be possible, because according to the book of Revelation, when the apocalypse takes place, as the seals start unfolding, God will no longer be around. He's not going to be here to help. Today, in our studios, we bring back the light. But there'll be a day when you are not going to have that light. The stations are not going to be working. The power supply will not be available. Help will not be available. You are going to understand in our today's podcast that everybody will be affected, both the great and the small, the poor, the rich, the wealthy people, those hiding in the bunker. Everything will be destroyed. There are very wealthy people out there preparing for the worst, for atomic conflicts and war and all sorts of possible attacks. But I have to warn you, nothing is going to stop the judgment day. And the seals and the cups and the trumpets, everything that happens from then on, I mean from the rapture onwards, it is nothing but God's judgment. We're not talking about the devil's judgment or man's judgment, because then God can stop them. The question that I bring to all of you today, hello to everybody, is the following: who can stop God? Les.
Bishop, we have seen since the first episode, we have noticed that every time we turn this page, things get worse and worse. Today is not going to be different. The Bible talks about the day of the Lord.
True.
Bishop, there are things that not even money can buy. It doesn't matter how prepared we are financially, physically, unless we are prepared spiritually by having a covenant with the Lord Jesus Christ, there is nothing we can do. No one can stop God when this is happening.
Absolutely, you are quite right. I have got here some very interesting points that we are going to talk about today. And unless people understand what is it that they have to do in order not to be caught in the events that will unfold after the rapture. What you need to do right now, it is to pay your debts with God. And I regret to inform the very wealthy people out there that money is not going to help you in that aspect. You have to clean your mind, your heart. You have to be ready so that when the rapture comes, you will be automatically caught up. If you are not ready, just like the events that will unfold, well, people are not going to have really time for anything. I have got here a few comments that we had from the previous podcast. Number one, what would you take? That's the question. What would you take? For example, what would you take if a bomb blasts? What are you going to take?
If given a chance, you want to take either your passport so that you can travel, whatever. But there is no chance for that.
But if you have to take your passport now, right now, do you know where it is?
No.
No, I don't. I'll have to ask for my wife, who probably running somewhere. I don't know. Do you know where is your passport?
No, I don't know.
Do you know?
I have
Do you
no
know?
idea.
Who knows, Luis? Do you know? Who knows? I don't know where it is. Well, first comment, my bag that already have everything in my Bible, ID, and bank cards, few clothes. I'm not sure what you're going to do with your bank card, but that's fair enough. Comment number 2, I'll run with my phone and power bank. That's quite interesting. Comment number 3, Bible, water, toothpaste. Comment number 4, my Bible, running sneakers, and my identity with God.
But Bishop, there is a point. Even if we knew where the things are, the passport is, there is no time to go there and fetch it. We're just going to run.
Yeah. Well, I'm imagining here. Yes, you're quite right. I'm imagining here if I knew the bomb is going to come tomorrow, by 11 o'clock a.m., I will have a backpacker with all these items. Mm-hmm. And the problem is, we are going to fit in more things, like depending on the size of the bag. If it's small, then little things. If big, then you know what happens. Well, I have here comment number 5, water jacket of sleeping when tired, in a lamp to see. Comment 6, my Bible, running sneakers, and my identity with God. Comment number 7, we have 3 points here. Number 1, my Bible, so that wherever I am going to go, can have the Word of God with me. Number 2, cell phone for communication, updates of what will be happening, to know where is safe to be. Food, water. Okay. Comment number 8, my Bible, water, first aid kit. Number 9, my name in the book of life. Well done. Mm-hmm. If I die that moment, I know I'm saved. Number 2, Bible, for it's my everything. Without it, I'm lost. Dead spiritually, water is life. And number 10, Bible, water, non-perishable food, probably cans. Yeah. You seem to have a good understanding of what you are going to need. The bad news is that not even that we are going to have time to prepare. So let us go to the book. We are on page 131, the opening of the 6th seal. We are now reading, in case you don't have the book by Bishop Renato, The World Will Burn, then you can go to the closest UCKG. You can order it online, Apple Store, Apple Books, Google Play, and we have also the Orca Center. I think it's only Portuguese available, I guess.
On our website.
In our website, uckd.org.za, you also find the how to buy. Is it the hard copy?
Yes.
We post it. So if you want to go to our website too, you are here in South Africa, it's going to be easier for you. Then just go in and you follow the process, and we are going to deliver the book to you. Very well. So page 131, I am reading Book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 12 to 17. I watched as he opened the sixth seal. And suddenly there was a great earthquake. The sun became black, like sackcloth made from goat hair. And the moon became like blood, and the stars of heaven fell to the earth. As a fig tree drops its unripe figs when it is shaken by a strong wind. Then heavens receded like a scroll when it is rolled up, and every mountain and island was removed from its place. Observe the description that John gives. And I have said this before, and I'm going to repeat it. I have read this a couple of times in the past, and I share this with the people, mainly on Sundays and Wednesdays, and I believe you have mentioned something as well. But I have to tell you this. I had no idea of what this meant. The more I tried to give examples how it will look like, I would imagine a possible description of what I read. And remember, old stand members here will recall participating of services with us when we had to get short clips from movies and show to the people. That's how this is going to look like. Because you have to understand that John could not speak about war, bomb, atomic bombs, the threats that we nowadays commonly see in the news. Mm-hmm. For example, the sun became black. Well, the sun can't become black. Mm-hmm. It can't. No. But something will happen that will cover the sun. And what is this if not thick smoke? And when we talk about a sackcloth made from goat hair is very thick and also very easily pressurized together in a way that if you have something like a sackcloth made of goat hair, if you point it towards the sunlight, you can't see the sun because it doesn't leave those holes
for the rays to go through,
for you to see through. It will black out your eyesight. And the stars of heaven fell to the earth. As a fig tree drops its unripe figs. I'm going to show you this video shortly, and you are going to understand. So why did John use this figurative speech of stars falling, because in his time there was no gunpowder, there was no bomb, there was no firearms or this heavy artillery, a military use. There was no such thing. So he described what he saw as stars falling. And indeed, they look like stars. They do have this shape of figs falling, like unripe figs falling when it is shaken from a strong, or shaken by a strong wind. This is war. This is the effect of the war. This is not, at least myself, I thought that the stars would really, like, they start falling. Most likely, we're talking about bombs, explosions. You will watch the video shortly and you draw your conclusions. Then heavens receded like a scroll when it is rolled up, and every mountain and island was removed from its place. Well, probably what we're talking about here is that the smoke will be so intense you won't see anything in front of you. It's like it's gone. But also there are explosions that will happen. Then the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the commanding officers, and the strong, and everyone, slave and free, hid themselves in the caves, in the rocks of the mountains. They said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb, for the great day of his wrath has come. Who is able to withstand it? Book of Revelation, chapter number 6, verses 12 to 17. The Apostle John's vision turns again to the earth and our solar system, which became a stage for the greatest catastrophe in the history of humankind. The judgments that follow the opening of this seal, or in the form of cosmetic phenomena involving celestial bodies like the sun, the moon, the stars. These events don't seem too strange, so strange to those who have read the Gospels. The Lord Jesus already predicted these almost identical events in Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Now we go to Matthew chapter 24, verse 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, the moon will not give its light, the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heaven will be shaken. Book of Luke, chapter number 21, verses 25 and 26. There will be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars. And on the earth, the distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men fainting from fear and expectation of what is coming on the inhabited earth. For the powers of heaven will be shaken. It may sound like science fiction, but all these phenomena have already been observed on a smaller scale on our planet. Large earthquakes followed by tsunamis, volcanic eruptions, thick clouds from the eruptions, or from forest fires that have blocked the sun and the moon for days, as well as mushroom clouds from nuclear blasts. Meteor shower and others are detailed in scientific and historical archives. They have already happened and will happen again, but on an unprecedented scale. They will be harbingers. Is it how to pronounce it? Harbingers of the great day of the Lord, also prophesied by the prophet of the Old Testament. As a consequence of these terrible events, all classes of society, great leaders, military commanders, the rich and the powerful, the slaves and the free, will be made level. It will make no difference whether a person is wise or ignorant, rich or poor, white or black, atheist or someone who defends his or her religion more than they practice the Word of God. They will all form one single class of people. The distressed hiding in the caves and praying the same prayer. Fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne. Revelation chapter 6, verse 16. They will know that all this is God's judgment, yet will continue to reject him. They will prefer to hide in the rocks of the mountains than to hide in the rock who is Jesus. Many people say, how can a loving God cast someone into hell? In fact, he has done everything to prevent this from happening. The essence of Revelation in the whole Bible, for that matter, is God's effort to prevent people from going to hell at all costs. However, ends up in hell will be there by their own choice for having rejected God. Whoever does not want to tell God, let your will be done, will hear from him in death. Let your will be done. Their will that was evident throughout their life, that what they really wanted was to be far from God. Chapter 6 ends with a question: who is able to withstand it? And chapter 7 gives the earth. Here in the book we have a picture of the moon turning into blood. It becomes reddish. We have had a few blood moon type in the past years. But now let us unpack all of this here. Let's start with this short video that you are going to watch. The quality is not very good because it was shot by someone who had a smartphone, and I am not affirming that what John describes here is exactly that scene where there is war and supersonic missiles being thrown into the air to destroy a certain place. What I'm saying is there is a great possibility that there'll be stars falling, there'll be, but also there is a great chance that what John saw was war. In these days, what we have the most, it is war. One of the most difficult things when we talk about this, it is to capture what happens on daily basis. You can't follow it up because they happen in such a speed. When for example, here right now we're talking about these circumstances, and probably there are other things already happening. So we can't really be on top of knowing the facts. We can't. But take a look, stop for a little bit and observe this video, and what you are going to see comes very close to this description of John when he says that the stars fell to the earth as a fig tree drops its unripe figs when it is shaken by a strong wind. Take a look. So we are here in the studio right now, and we hear a pop. What you're going to do? You're going to run, or you are going to go under the table? Because I don't believe this table here is going to be big enough for all of us. So some of us will have to go somewhere else. And I think I'm one of those who will not fit here because of my height. And I think, I don't want to mention their names, but some people will fit here easily under this table. But what would you do?
I will run out, Bishop, to see what is happening. Because if I'm here, I don't know what is happening. I have to see where this sound is coming from, what is really happening, so that I can know what to do.
Have you seen somewhere when people run out of desperation, they fall? Mm-hmm. Have you seen? Do you know why that happens? That is called adrenaline rush. Our adrenal gland, which is a very small organ, is responsible for that type of energy. So, just make believe you hear noise in this. Something is going to fall here on our head, like the lamp perhaps. Then you have that reaction to quickly walk away from it. Mm-hmm. And that's going to also help you if you're going to be hit by a car. You see the car coming, then your reaction is to quickly
jump out of the scene.
However, when there is an intense situation like a great earthquake, the adrenaline rush will be so intense that you are not going to be able to control yourself. You will fall. Mm-hmm. Most people, unless if they are well trained to react in situations like that, I'm not one of them. Maybe people who are in the army will be able to react that way. I'm not going to be able to. I'm speaking about myself, I don't know about you, but when you say here, I'm going to take my Bible, I'm going to take my phone, hardly you're going to get your legs to work, if you know what I mean.
When we hear the blast, we want to run for the cover. I've seen people in videos when they hear the blast or a gunshot running away. After a few meters, they remember that I left my son. But the first reaction is to run for the cover. Then they come to their senses. Oh, let me pick my son and run. So that's what happened. We want to make sure that we are safe when we hear that and we see danger. It happens naturally.
Luis,
I remember, Bishop, once.
come close to the microphone.
I remember once I was going to the church there in Brazil. I was a single auxiliary pastor then, and the bus was full, and the engine of the bus caught fire. And it was in Brazil, the outdoor is in front, and the fire was there. That time I was much slimmer, and I jumped out of the bus through the window. But many people got injured because they wanted to go out of the bus and they couldn't make it. The driver got the fire extinguisher and managed to sort the problem, but people, they were desperate. I was there, and when I was outside the bus, I remember I forgot my bag. As Bishop said, you forget your items. I left the bag inside of the bus with the Bible. Everybody's saying that they would take the Bible. I forgot the Bible. I forgot the things I was taking to the special. It was a special work that I would go every day. I forgot everything. And after the fire was sorted, everybody left. I went back inside, and the bag was there untouched. In other words, nobody grabbed it to steal it, to take away. Mm-hmm. So when something happens, there'll be no time to think of grabbing something and running away. People, they will only think about themselves, but shouldn't be so when it comes to our salvation.
Mac.
Amazing, Bishop. When we speak about this, I believe many have experienced such an act when you are in a deep sleep and you wake up in a rush and you lose balance because you don't know, your bloodstream is still getting adjusted to that moment. Now, if we've all gone through that, imagine in this time where bombs are striking and you say, I'm going to get my Bible, I'm going to get my phone, my water. You're not going to think about that. You'll just be thinking about going to the closest place, running for safety, Bishop.
Mm. We had that experience, I think it was last year.
Yes.
We went to bed to sleep. Who would guess we would have an earthquake at 3 a.m? We just heard the things in the house shaking.
Did you wake up?
I did,
yes.
Immediately.
What did you do?
Just try to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
I had nothing.
I was expecting to hear that.
My wife woke me and said, "Did you feel it?" I said, "Nothing."
We do another podcast to talk about that. Gerald.
I heard, Bishop, but I thought I was dreaming. So it's my wife who explained later that it was not a dream. It
So
was
you
the
didn't
earthquake.
wake up to
I am a deep sleeper too, so I didn't wake up.
chapter number 2 of the podcast. Mac.
I woke up, Bishop, actually, and opened the window to see. Then I went back to bed and I woke my wife out. And she said, "No, Mac, go to bed. It's just a dream." I'm like, "No, everything is shaking. The mirror, the building was shaking. Everything was just, wow."
Yeah. I just had time to ask, what's going on? Nothing else.
I think everybody wants to know about me. Well, next to my bed, next to me and my wife, there is this lamp stand.
Mm.
And it has this decoration of like crystals. They are plastic with aluminium, and when you touch that, makes a lot of noise. But a lot of noise. And both were shaken, but aggressively. My wife woke up first. I heard the noise and I felt, but very intense, the building shaking. Then she sat on the bed and she grabbed my arm and said, "Earthquake." The only thing that I could do was to pray. I didn't even think about running or going under the bed or running for safety. I was there. I just immediately I prayed and I rebuked that earthquake. I rebuked. Immediately I raised my hands and I said, you are tied up in the name of this. But this is not going to work here, this event, because tied up what? What you going to tie up? The judgment. Because earthquake, biblically speaking, earthquake, it is the evidence here in this seal of God's judgment. And we have had some very bad earthquakes in the history of the world, one worse than the other. But all these events, they will happen in a very large scale, something never seen before, Gerald.
And Bishop, we've seen. I was thinking that John explains here about what he knew. Bishop said he talked about stars falling like the figs falling off the tree, because that is what he had seen and he knew. But today, we've seen missiles falling, billows of smoke up. We've seen terrible sights on TV, bombs, buildings being destroyed, And when we think about this, what is talking about the sun becoming black, is those smoke out of the bombs that government buildings are destroyed. Sometimes cities are wiped away. We've seen tsunamis taking cities, destroying buildings. So wherever we read this, that is what we imagine. But what is coming, our minds have no capacity even to imagine, is worse than we can think.
Now, I want everybody to think here with me, because these occurrences, if they happen in a separated episode, it's already scary. The earthquake, I can't recall how long that lasts, maybe a minute, maybe a bit more, I can't remember now. But imagine if, followed by the earthquake, if we had explosions. Just imagine power plants exploding, and where there is gas supply. Well, that's not very common in South Africa. There is, but not very common. But imagine these gas pipes, with the friction, they break open, and there is that small spark, and the explosions start. And this moon becoming like blood, like red. Mm-hmm. If you have ever seen this, the past incidents, I think we're going to show shortly this video as well.
It's the worst earthquake to hit China.
There, as the latest official figures we are receiving suggest almost 4,000 people were killed as a result of that massive earthquake.
It does pop up, and I can see that partial. Look how dark it got, right there. Did you see that darkness? It just got really dark. We are close.
The magnificent sight of our moon, sun, and earth aligning, causing our moon to turn red.
This is not right. Something happened. This exploded.
Nowhere to go. Oh my God.
We're gonna get trampled if we don't go. Run!
This is Beyond the End.
There was a fire, it was so intense that heaven became red. And you couldn't see the mountain. That was scary. And some people, they were talking about, oh, this is the apocalypse, this is God's judgment, 1, 2, and 3. But that was this single incident. Put all of them together. And then you understand why that moment, the great and the small, the free, the slave, all of them will level. Because all of them will run. When we had the episode that Bishop Miguel participated with us, he talked about people running to the bunker. And some of them had as little as 10 seconds or not more than 90 seconds. They didn't have time. So because they knew the war was on, they would have their backpacker there. And, well, you can do it. Like Bishop Luis just said, he had his backpacker. He was going to a prayer cell, but then when the explosion in the bus happened, it was only the bus, it wasn't the earth. Well, he left his backpacker there. His survival mode kicked in, the adrenaline kicked in, and he was then young. Well, all of us are still young, but when we pass a certain age, mobility becomes a challenge. And then what happened? It was left. He left his bag behind. And now we have this earthquake, the sun that becomes black. We see everything here, and the moon becoming like blood. And probably the war is on. There are bombs falling. The war is on. And people will have to hide somewhere. They will have to. But now the sun is black. There's no light.
Where do you go?
Yeah. Let me do this again. Hold on there a little bit. Put the lights off. Just imagine something happened somewhere and the power supply goes poof, there. Let's switch over here by. There, boom, gone. Everything is gone. And now the earthquake. So, Blessing, let me challenge you a little bit. You said you're going to run outside to see what's going on. How do you intend to see it?
Yeah, if it's dark, Bishop, I don't think I'm going anywhere.
Yeah.
I am going to be here until the light comes on.
Here sitting down, here screaming, here under the table.
Maybe I'll be holding Milesi and say, Milesi, we are going. Let's go together, let's pray.
Yeah.
Because it's dark, you can't see anything.
That's exactly what happens. It's even difficult for us to explain this. Now imagine, we have this monitor here on, we have a little bit of light source here, but if we put the monitor off and everything's off, then what? Oops, let me cover here my iPad too. Ooh la la. And then, where do we run to? Where do we go to? Okay, now it is dark. And imagine the earthquake comes. And then the bomb and the fire And we hear people screaming. What do you do?
Yeah.
Only desperation.
Like the 10 plagues, the darkness that came, God sent to Egypt. It's written that they could touch darkness.
Yeah, you can bring back the light. What is going to happen? I mean, what you going to do? And some people definitely they are going to criticize our comments here. We expect that anyway. They criticize God. Imagine us. And again, those unbelieving people, they are going to say, well, these guys are brainwashing people and they are working to scare people. We have said this a couple of times before. We don't need to do that because the news already tells everyone things are not okay. They are not. And here is the good news. You don't need to be here to see this. Yes. That is the good news.
That is the very good news.
Because here, you see, the response of people, and here we have kings, we have great men, rich men, commanders, mighty men. We are going to have here very powerful people, and they are going to be afraid. All of them, they'll be hiding. And they will know the judgment is taking place. And he has already given the secret for you to be out of this situation. And it is here. Let's open the Bible. I am going to show to you what you can do for you not to be here in this seal number 6. That is if you survive. Seal number 2. But if you survive, then, and if you left behind, of course, you are going to see all of it. Matthew chapter number 6, we have got the secret that is the, let me call it a recipe for eternity. Oh, the page is stuck here. Just, there is no other way. That's so unfair. Hold on. Yeah. What? Sorry. What is this? It's like there is glue here.
Yes.
But we are going to win. Hold on. There we go. Sorry.
It's sealed.
Huh?
It's sealed.
It is, yeah. Well, some people said they're going to take their Bible and there is no light for you to read the Bible. And if it happens that the page is stuck like this one here. Well, it's stuck because it's a new Bible anyway. Matthew chapter 6, verse number 5. And Jesus said, when you pray, you shall not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the corners of the streets, that they may be seen by men. Assuredly, I say to you, they have their reward. What is their reward? The praise of men. The praise of men would do what to them? Zero.
Nothing.
But when you pray, go into your room, and when you have shut your door, pray to your Father who is in the secret place, and your Father who sees the secret, in secret, will reward you openly. And when you pray, do not use vain repetitions as the heathen do, for they think that they will be heard for their many words. Therefore, do not be like them, for your Father knows the things you have need of before you ask him. In this manner, therefore, pray, Our Father in heaven. Now, what God is this? Well, he is our Father in heaven. By the way, a Father whose children or creation or creatures don't look for him. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. On earth, mainly in my life. So like Bishop Renato finished here, the book, the seal number 6, quoting from the book once more, page number 33, chapter 6 ends with a question: who is able to withstand it? Answer: nobody. But we are going to go through this chapter number 7 here shortly. But what must stand out to all of us here is the following. The last paragraph, page 133, many people say, how can a loving God cast someone into hell? In fact, he has done everything to prevent his or this from happening, because hell was not created for men.
Yes.
It was created to the devil and his fallen angels. And now, whoever does not want to tell God, let your will be done,
Yeah, that let yours be done.
let your will be done then. So, stay there, because my judgment is coming. Whether we like it or not, it is coming. And you know, another thing, when disasters happen, like flood and people die, there are these people who come together to pray. Now let us pray for God to stop. I understand they are using their faith, but this is not going to stop. This won't stop. That's judgment. This is coming. And we've been warning people for many, many years. God has been raising men of God in their own era,
Yes.
to preach. So we have Bishop Macedo, we have us, and we have so many other people of God, from different denominations, but men of God whose intention, it's not to be praised, it's not to show off, it's not to gain favor from anyone. They want to announce salvation. So, what's your will like? What is it that you have been doing?
Yes, coincidentally enough, Bishop, this morning, an 8.3 earthquake hits Russia that caused a tsunami in Japan.
I didn't know.
This morning. So until midnight, what else can happen? Who can guess? Who can
And they
prevail?
are strong equipment
Yeah.
to detect when.
Yes.
But they never know when it's going to happen. 8.3.
So we can
Wow.
have the highest technology possible. It can't help this time and that time.
And as Bishop said, that there's been warnings different times, including this podcast, is to warn those who are watching at this moment. Because life is about choices. No one is predestined to go through that. We can make a choice. If we don't want to hear from God, let your will be done, we need to sacrifice this will and embrace his, so that we can be saved, we can escape this. The good news, as we said, is that we don't need to face what we are reading about now. We will be taken away, but the choice we have to make right now.
So, guys, the conclusion of this seal number 6, we are talking about a very powerful divine judgment. It's a judgment that will come upon those who refused to do the will of God. Will there be a chance still? Yes. But people will not accept it. They'll be angry at God. And their anger will do exactly what? To delay, to stop God's judgment. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like zero. Again, I repeat, you don't need to be here to see all of these events unfolding. We have seen a lot of things already. We have seen a lot of, like a sample of what we're talking about in a very small scale, in separated circumstances. Now imagine all of them together. Yes.
It's true, Bishop. And sometimes we hear things that we get so angry. Just by hearing it. Imagine the wrath of God towards so much disrespect towards the sacrifice of his son. He gave his son to bring light, and people rejected it.
Everyone has a choice. God has given us everything to know what is coming. Now it's up to each and every person to decide, what do you do with what God has presented to you? You choose to listen to God and prepare yourself, or you choose to go your own will. But whatever will happen will depend on us, not on God.
Mac.
And why should people run and hide in caves when they can run under the shadow of the Almighty? And with all the warning signs that were given, they still don't see that as an option. But they will prefer to hide in caves no matter what class you are from. And that's the sad reality of what we are reading here today, Bishop.
Luis.
Bishop.
Close the microphone, please.
Kinako, it's time for people to make a decision. There's no time left. They have to make a decision and return to God now.
That's it. So, let me give you my final words in this podcast. We are going to keep on announcing salvation. We are going to keep on having campaigns of faith, night videos and fasting and prayers, and cry out and Bible reading, Bible meditation. Why do you think we have this technology advancing such a speed, and here we are in this TV channel, the podcast, and we have social media. This is God's plan, to make everyone aware, to make everyone know that the time is over. We don't know the day, we don't know the time. I'm not implying here that I know Jesus will come back tonight or tomorrow. I don't know that. Nobody knows. Evil spirits don't know. By the Bible description and the looks of what is going on out there, it is very close. And when it happens, it will happen so fast. Think about expectations. When you expect something to happen, and you wait for a month, for 2, 1 year perhaps, or more, and then there is this day when it happens, it takes place, you will shake, you will cry. I'm talking about something good, obviously. And when it happens so fast. This is happening. God is warning us. What you are going to do about that right now? Are you going to keep on hiding behind this mask of pretense? Are you going to keep on hiding behind your title as a religious leader, a bishop, a pastor of the Universal Church or another institution? Are you going to be hiding behind the Bible studies that you're going through and you are learning so much from the Bible, practicing very little, if anything at all? What are you going to do? It's time to reflect. Because even if the Lord Jesus will take another year or 2 or 5 years, for that matter, or even 10, to come back, the question is, will you live enough? That's the question. Will you be here all that much? Because we could die tonight. We could die right now. We could even die before this podcast finishes. One day we are going to be preaching, and the rapture will take place. One day you are going to be in church for your last time. Next week we are going to talk about the 144,000 who were sealed. And these 144,000 who will be sealed will give hope for people who will want to know God. Again, there is God throwing in another life-save boat or a rope that you can grab it and change your life. Whose will are you going to do? That's a big question. God bless you.
This is Beyond the End.